Lusaka is a very big city of almost 5 million people. The vast majority of those people are living at somewhere between $1 and $2 a day. Zambia is a Christian nation in its constitution. And that means that we have a lot of opportunities in Zambia. Because Action Zambia has been around officially since 2002, we have relationships that we've built up with churches and communities over the last 20 years. Half of Camp Ciyanjano is serving local churches as a location for them to come and do their own retreats, their own camps, their own conferences, and then we serve them as best we can while they're using Camp Ciyanjano. When those churches came out, they would meet Giles Sakala, who's our manager for Ciyanjano, who does all of our bookings.
Last year, we had about, from January to December, we had about 84 groups. But this year, it looks like it may go higher.
The other aspect of Ciyanjano is our Champs program. We really loved hosting other groups that would come out to Ciyanjano, but we wanted to do our own camps. We wanted to have our own mission to serve local churches by having our own camps. But to do that, we needed to train a bunch of college-age kids to be certain that they knew Jesus, that they were saved, that they understood salvation and how to explain it, empowering them to go back into their home churches and to be leaders wherever they are in their communities, in their homes, in their churches, and in the nation of Zambia.
I am one of the 3 leaders of Champs program. Our aim is to get school leavers who just leave school and they're preparing to go to college, and we disciple them in a year. So in that 1-year space, we get to disciple them into doing Bible study from the book, and there's also a program we call My Reading Highlights. We encourage them to develop a habit of reading the Bible every day and kind of recording what they read, if they have questions, their thoughts, and what impresses them.
Camp Ciyanjano is a place where we have the opportunity through the Champs program to put these college-age youth through a lot of different practical steps to see them at work. In the townships, in the slums. That's primarily where we work. That's where our champs live, that's where their churches are, that's where they work, that's where they go to school, and so that's where we work. We work where they are, we want to go and serve where they are, and we want to grow them into leaders to lead where they are. So that means we do a lot of children's ministry, evangelism with community schools, and maybe with a church. We'll go to a local football pitch and we'll set up and do songs and games, and immediately kids from all over the community will start arriving to find out what's happening. And that gives us an opportunity to share the gospel with those kids and then to point them to the church that invited us out to that community. And then, Lord willing, after some time we'll be able to bring some of those kids out to Ciyanjano for camp.
I have seen God's work working in Champs ministry because people get convicted. People genuinely start relationships with God. And those that come that are already saved, like the likes of Bana, you understand? I've seen the growth in them. I've seen the fruits that they're producing.
Before coming to Champs, I never really knew to say I'm supposed to have a personal relationship with God. After coming to Champs, that's when I learned, I had more insight about the word, and I learned to say there's supposed to be a personal relationship between me and God through Christ.
When you start the program, it changes your life in ways you could never imagine.
It gives me joy, you know, even when I come for the class, I know saying by the end of the year, God do not let these people be the same. God will work into their lives. We have one student, the current student that we have now, Chanda.
Well, my life before Champs was very messy. I didn't understand the love that God has for me.
You know, at first when she came, her father told me saying she's a character and she really needs help.
I became a young parent and that was a game changer for me.
You know, with time, we started talking to her, praying for her, you know, and she began to have an understanding on who Christ is and what it really means to have a relationship with Christ. And this is something not only that we see, this is something even her, she sees it. she's able to say, this is not how I used to be.
I've learned that God can still use me and that His love doesn't lessen because of my mistakes.
Although we do a lot of children's ministry, we don't run an orphanage, we serve some orphanages. If we had funding, we could go to a different community school or even a government school every single day of the week, all year long, and never hit the same school twice. And that's where we need your help, because we lack the funding to feed and transport and train the champs for evangelism and outreaches all over the city. We also need funding to run camps for children for the townships and to pay our champ trainers a living wage. Supporting the champs develops Zambian youth into church and community leaders, and at Camp Ciyanjano they train peers and lead children and youth to know Jesus. If you visit actionzambia.org, you can partner with us in these fruitful ministries, and we'd be grateful for your prayers and for your support.